CBN national security correspondent Caitlin Burke has tonight's top story.
In a press briefing, the Pentagon said it now has the ability to evacuate 5,000 to 9,000 people a day from Kabul Airport. While those efforts continue around the clock, counterterrorism experts warn about who's flooding into Afghanistan.
And this is the Taliban checkpoint. They are taking the security of the street.
There is real concern that with the Taliban back in charge of Afghanistan, that Al-Qaeda is going to be able to rebuild its networks in that country.
Nathan Sales is the former ambassador at large and coordinator for counterterrorism at the State Department. He says one of the terms of President Trump's deal with the Taliban was that they break all ties with Al-Qaeda. They haven't done that.
Just a couple of weeks ago, the United Nations released a report about the relationship between Taliban leaders and Al-Qaeda. Unfortunately, that relationship remains robust.
Many foreign services and intelligence officials believe the Taliban's victory has re-energized other jihadists around the world.
Unfortunately, the stage really has been set for Al-Qaeda to reassert itself in Afghanistan, to our detriment.
Previous intelligence estimates suggested it would take up to 2 years after a full U.S. withdrawal before Al-Qaeda could again pose a threat to the United States. Sales tells CBN News the Taliban victory changes everything.
They see Afghanistan as the site of a great victory. They will try to pull recruits into Afghanistan to fight for them in much the same way that ISIS was a magnet for jihadists from around the world into Syria and Iraq several years ago. Al-Qaeda is going to take a page out of that playbook and look to reconstitute their networks there.
The intelligence community has been warning the Biden administration that pulling forces there would hurt our ability to contain extremist threats. Biden, though, maintains counterterrorism efforts don't require boots on the ground.
In order to do counterterrorism, you need to have intel. You need to know where the bad guys are located, and you need to know what they're plotting. And in order to collect that information, you need to have drones flying overhead, vacuuming up signals intelligence. And you also need to have a network of spies, human intelligence assets, who are collecting information.
A U.S. presence in Afghanistan offered reassurance to our assets on the ground that they would have protection if they were discovered. With our withdrawal, Sales says those abilities have been eliminated outright or dramatically reduced. The Taliban held their first official press conference today, a spokesman claiming Afghanistan is now free after 20 years of occupation. He claims that the rights of women will be protected within the framework of Islam and that they want peaceful relations with other countries. Meanwhile, Afghanistan's vice president is now claiming that he's in charge, and he's encouraging Afghans to rise up against the Taliban. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.